Hey guys, Tonester back. This is going to be a little bit longer video because we're going to pause it at certain points and talk about what's going on the map because I feel like I can't get everything in that I want to say during the course of a game. So I went ahead and watched this game before I recorded it. I usually don't, I just do it on the fly. And I want to talk a little bit about this map. So, you know, of course, heavy side, there's only one arty, so that's good. So you can play heavy side if you want. I choose not to do that very often because I feel like it's really hard to push the heavy side. I feel like the medium side or this north corner of the map wins the map. And you can also have it's very strong to be up in this position up here, but I've found that if I go there and I don't have enough support, I die immediately and my game's over. So unless you're in like a three-man platoon, I just don't feel like it's a very strong play because a lot of times you'll end up getting shot up and exit the game early. So normally I do try and play north. The problem with the T-34-3 is it has very little gun depression. It's got 6 degrees now, which is much better than it used to be. But in this game, you're going to see there's not a lot of support going north. So let's go ahead and get it started. I haven't really talked too much about the team compositions, but we have a Lorraine 40T and they have a pair of Progettos. Now those Progettos are easy targets for me, but the problem is they can just YOLO out, get 720 and trade it for my 390, and we're able to hit a nice shot on the move there, so that's always nice. So they're a tank I don't want to be super close to, right? It's just personal opinion. And I faff about here hoping that I'm going to get shots on this guy, and we do get some shots and some decent shots, but I probably should have loaded heat. This tank almost requires heat to do well in because at range you're just not accurate enough to hit stuff. I mean, that the full side of that tank and you completely miss it. So now we fire too late, and at this point I notice that there's tanks up here, right? And so looking at my view range circle, if I keep firing, those guys are surely going to spot me, and if I stay here they're going to spot me, right? But I've only got one T-28 prototype going up to this corner, and I don't feel like it's a very good position for me to go up there with just one guy for support. So what I decide instead is I go to this rock, and let's go ahead and continue on. You have to live with the bloopers on my channel. I do this for free, so you get what you get, boys and girls. But this rock is very, very strong. And the reason it's so strong is because you can tuck into this nook and be safe from most angles. And so we get lit, but it's not all that big of a deal. I don't even know where we got lit from. Probably over here. Usually someone camps in this bush and they'll spot you. So now I'm just going nice and slow and waiting, making sure I drop spot, and we're gonna get a shot into this Super Pershing. Now that was a sort of lucky shot, but I did have the full side of him, right? And it's also the reason I run food on this thing, because the gun handling is just so bad. And I'm a pay-to-win noob too, so I believe on this thing I'm running firefighting prerogative or whatever they call it. So that's the bush I'm talking about. Generally someone is sitting in that bush, and a lot of times I blind fire that bush. At this point in time though, I've noticed that LTTB is up there, but he's in a position I really can't hit him. And we have a Lynx in the middle, which that's a pretty ballsy play for him. And that's why you don't want to get lit in a LTTB. Now you also notice we've got a low up in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the swamp, which is terrible. And at this point I realize being lit, you cannot stay out in that open area or you will get trashed from not only the hill if they own the hill, but this position up here they can hit you, and that defender's highly likely to YOLO me if he sees me down here alone. So even staying here where I'm at is a risk, but I don't want to give up any more map control. And I do see that they've got an SU-130 PM, and I would like to get a shot on him if I can. But I take too long and he goes dark. So at this point we're losing both sides of the map, and it does get a little hairy here. That's just the way it goes. But I can't afford to push, right? I have no support except for a T-28, but fortunately some of these guys are making mistakes. So I'm aiming for the roof of that IS-6, and I make a mistake and almost fall off the edge there, which could have lost me a lot of health. So it appears that IS-6 is preoccupied though. And we're lit once again, so we probably should have loaded heat rounds, but we didn't, and we're just gonna fall back here. So I see the defender is up there in front of me, and I instantly load a heat round. I cannot even begin to pen that guy with my standard rounds. Lower plate is not even a possibility. And it's now 6-7, and for whatever reason our Roomba decided he was going to go in front. I hear the defender fire, and I'm going to pull up and try and get a shot on him. See, even lower plate there is yellow with gold rounds because he's so angled. So when he's face on, I can definitely hit him, and that's what we do. And this guy decides to YOLO, and it's now 7-10. I got a defender and a well, now watch this. When will you ever see a T-34-3 ram a defender to death? Only on my channel, folks. So, and I've got this Super Pershing coming at me, and I kind of make a mistake to start, but notice what I do. So I come around him. I'm faster than him. My turret's faster than him, right? And I also have much higher alpha. He has better DPM than I do. So I need to get around the side of him where he doesn't have good shots on my side or on my hull, and he's a good enough player to back up against that hillside so that he can get gun depression and shoot my hull. But he makes a mistake in letting me on his side, and he's panicked now, right? So we go ahead and put another shot into him, and I've switched back to standard rounds. And the reason I did that is that and so that there is a weak spot, but I just kind of missed it. But now I'm in a position I need to juke him. So if I go around to the right, which I think is what I do, I think I can get around before he can hold traverse. So I think that's what we do. Nope, we just back off and create separation. And so what we did there is we created an auto bounce angle on our side, and we jammed him. So we got up close to him, and he wasn't able to pen us. So he was firing gold rounds, which are 258 APCR, and we did end up losing a little bit of health there. We're down to 800 health, but we were able to out brawl that guy. And once he had me tracked, he should have been able to beat me in that little confined space. But luckily I play the T-34-3 a lot, and the one advantage that I have is I'm much more mobile than he is, and my track reverse is much better. And his hull is weak, my hull is weak, but if I can get to his side, he's done for, right? So let's go ahead and continue. And so I haven't been spotting anything for a while now. So we're up to 2,700 damage and 500 assist and 1,200 block. So, and we see this Scorpion G, and I have no problem poking my turret up towards that Scorpion G. Now, at this point, I had looked up and noticed that their arty was dead, right? And so I can stay up on this ridge line for a little bit and not worry about it. So I go for the track. I don't quite hit it, but with the entire hull, that Scorpion G has no chance of not taking damage. And you notice what I do here? I load HE rounds, right? Because I need as much damage as I can get. At this point, the Scorpion has fired, so I know I've got some time, and I'm also hauled up. Now, this guy's firing HE, and that's important for me to know, right? For whatever reason, he's out in the middle of nowhere and he's firing HE at me. So I'm perfectly fine with that. So we're just going to back up. We're not going to panic. We're going to get hull down. And we're going to completely miss, like the T-34-3 does sometimes. But we're going to stay hull down, and he fired. I don't know why he fired. I don't know if he's a bot or what, but at any rate, now I'm timing my reload, and I'm just making sure that I'm going to have reload, and we do, and we're able to take him out. And that is basically the end of the game for us. But we had some kind of Muppets at the end, but a lot of times at the end of the game, people think they're invincible, that they'll just push in and kill you. But, you know, I had too many hit points. I had 500 and something hit points, which is more than I needed. Had that SU-130 PM fired the standard round there, he would have probably pinned me, and I'd have been down to like 150 hit points, you know, or 100 hit points. So it would have probably changed how I had to play that. I might have even ran away from him and tried to play vision games with him. I don't know. But I do know that he fired HE, and that helped me out immensely. So that's my ace in that tank on Corellia. I appreciate you guys watching. For those of you that like the after action report, we'll do that in just a moment. Okay, here we are at the after action. Of course, we got an ace tanker out of that. We were top of the team by about 300 XP. It looks like our our Borsig did 3,500 damage. And then I don't know why he rushed down into the middle. That was kind of a silly play if you ask me. But nevertheless, our Panhard EBR did pretty well too. 1,100 damage, 2 kills, probably some spotting as well. So 19 shots fired, 16 hits, 11 pens, 4,167 damage. And 544 spotting. We don't have a premium account, but we ended up netting 46,000 credits, and that was 1,500 total XP on that game. So appreciate you guys watching. We will catch you on the next one. Tonester out.